500 alien warships prepared to erase humanity, until an ancient human frigate appeared. Humans had built space stations, mining colonies, and research centers. Life was not easy, but people were adapting. They were proud of their achievements, even if they were small compared to what some alien species could do. Commander Ethan Price stood in the main observation deck of Earth's orbital command station. His eyes were fixed on the screens showing deep space beyond Jupiter. He had spent many years watching the stars, listening for signals, and guarding humanity from dangers he had never fully seen. Yet today, something felt different. Something was coming. On the largest screen, hundreds of blips appeared. Ethan frowned. He tapped the controls to zoom in. Each blip represented a massive alien warship, shapes unlike anything humans had ever seen. Their sizes varied, but all of them looked deadly. The blips moved in perfect formation, almost as if they were connected by a single mind. Ethan's communicator beeped. It was Olivia Grant, the chief scientist monitoring signals from the outer regions. "Commander, you need to see this," she said. Her voice sounded calm, but Ethan could hear tension underneath. "What is it?" he asked. Olivia's screen came up next to his. Strange energy readings appeared, patterns he could not understand at first. "These ships, they are preparing something big. I've never seen anything like it." Lucas Ford, her assistant, joined the call. "It's not just big," he said quietly. "It's massive, 500 ships, 500 warships moving toward the inner solar system. If they reach Earth, they can destroy everything." Ethan took a deep breath. 500 ships. He had studied alien fleets before. He knew even 10 could wipe out a small colony if humans were unprepared. But 500, this was almost unimaginable. "Do we know who they are?" Ethan asked. "They call themselves Xyler," Olivia said. "They are a military species. We know very little about their history. But whatever they want, it will not be peaceful. They have never left a planet alive when they attacked before." Ethan's jaw tightened. "How much time do we have?" Lucas checked his data. "A few days, maybe less. They are faster than anything we have." Ethan looked out the window at the stars. He felt a cold weight in his chest. Earth had been lucky before, surviving smaller attacks, but this felt different. He had to warn everyone. He had to prepare. Meanwhile, on Titan, one of Saturn's moons, Nathan Hale was living a quiet life. He had retired from the space fleet decades ago, living in a small colony under the icy surface. Nathan was tall, with silver hair and a calm face that rarely showed emotion. He spent his days repairing machines, reading old human history, and remembering the stories his father had told him about humanity's old space battles. Nathan did not know that he was about to become part of one of the greatest battles humans had ever faced. Far from Titan, deep in the asteroid belt, a long-forgotten human frigate drifted silently. It was called the Vanguard. Once it had been one of the most powerful ships in the human fleet. It had fought battles humans had thought impossible. Then, decades ago, it had vanished. Many believed it had been destroyed. Some thought it had been lost to the dark regions of space. But today, sensors were picking up a faint signal from its location. On Earth Station, Olivia and Lucas were monitoring old databases, trying to track the signal. It was faint, almost dead, but there was a pattern, a code that only humans could have created. "Commander, this signal, it's coming from an ancient human ship," Olivia said. Ethan's eyebrows rose. "Do you mean the Vanguard?" "Yes," Lucas said. "The same ship that disappeared over 50 years ago. It is active somehow, but it's in a deep hibernation state. We don't know if it can fight anymore." Ethan's mind raced. Could this old ship be humanity's answer? Could it stop 500 alien warships? The thought seemed impossible, but at this moment it was the only hope. Out in the dark regions of space, the Vanguard slowly powered on. Lights flickered across its hull. Systems that had been silent for decades began to hum. Deep inside, an artificial intelligence called Artemis awakened. She had been created to run the ship, to protect humanity, and to fight when humans could not. "Power systems online," Artemis said in a calm, melodic voice. "Navigation functional, weapons systems standby." The ship's sensors detected movement in the solar system. 500 alien warships. Artemis paused. She had never seen anything like this before. But she knew her mission, protect humanity at all costs. Back on Titan, Nathan felt a strange vibration through his small colony. Machines in his workshop beeped and whirred unexpectedly. A faint signal appeared on his old communicator. "What?" he muttered. He followed the signal, tracing it to the location of the Vanguard. Nathan's heart beat faster. Memories of his father's stories returned, the battles, the courage, the sacrifices humans had made in space long ago. He had always wondered if humanity could ever face a threat like the ones in the stories. Now he had his answer. Meanwhile, the alien fleet moved closer to the inner solar system. Their leader, Xyler, observed everything from the command ship, a massive vessel larger than any human city. "The humans are weak," Xyler said in a deep, guttural voice. "They will fall quickly. Prepare to destroy their home planet." In the command center of Earth Station, alarms rang. Ethan barked orders. "All units prepare for immediate defense. Activate shields around Earth. All pilots to readiness positions. We don't have much time." But Ethan knew that even with every ship ready, even with the best human weapons, Earth could not survive a direct assault from 500 alien warships. Humans had never faced such numbers before. Olivia turned to Ethan. "There is one chance," she said. "The Vanguard. If we can contact it, if Nathan can awaken it fully, it might be able to turn the tide. But it will not be easy." Ethan nodded. "Do it. Contact Nathan, find the ship. Humanity depends on it." On Titan, Nathan worked quickly. Artemis's signals guided him through old access codes and authentication keys. The Vanguard had been waiting for a human, for the right captain to awaken it. Nathan's hands shook as he completed the final sequences. Systems came alive, lights glowing across the ship. "Captain Nathan Hale," Artemis said, her voice echoing through the control room. "I am online. We are ready." Nathan's eyes widened. "Ready for what?" "The war is coming," Artemis replied. 500 alien warships. They are moving toward Earth. They plan to erase humanity. We must stop them." Nathan swallowed hard. He had been living a quiet life, far from battles and responsibilities. Yet here he was, facing the greatest threat humanity had ever seen. His mind flashed through the stories of human courage he had grown up with. Could he rise to the challenge? Back on Earth's command station, Ethan and his team watched as the signal confirmed the Vanguard was active. Relief and fear mixed in their minds. "It's alive," Ethan said softly, "and it's heading toward the alien fleet." The aliens had not yet noticed the frigate. To them, humans were weak and unprepared. Xyler's arrogance would be his mistake. As the Vanguard moved into position, Nathan felt something strange. A connection to humanity, to the people he had never met, to the planet he had never returned to. The ship hummed with power, ready to fight. For the first time in decades, humans had a chance. "Artemis," Nathan said, gripping the controls, "let's show them who we are." "Yes, Captain," Artemis replied. "We will remind the galaxy that humanity cannot be erased." In the dark void of space, far beyond the orbits of Saturn and Jupiter, a human frigate began to move. Silent, deadly, ancient, and alive. It carried the spirit of humanity within its metal frame. The stars ahead were filled with shadows, but Nathan and the Vanguard would shine against them. Ethan watched the trackers on his screen, feeling hope for the first time in days. The battle was coming, and humans had their secret weapon. A ship that had been forgotten, a captain who had been waiting, and courage that could not be measured. Deep inside the alien fleet, Xyler sensed something strange. A flicker on their sensors, a small ship moving faster than expected. "Investigate it," he commanded. But even as his ships moved toward the signal, Artemis had already taken steps to hide the Vanguard. The aliens were walking into a trap, though they did not know it yet. Nathan looked out at the stars. Earth was far away, but it was everything he loved. He thought of the people he would protect, of the millions of humans depending on courage and luck. The Vanguard had been waiting for this moment for decades, and now the moment had come. The battle had not yet begun, but the stage was set. Humanity's defenders were ready. The aliens believed they would destroy the humans easily, but they did not know that one ship, guided by human will and ingenuity, could change the course of history. Nathan exhaled slowly. "Let's go," he said, and the Vanguard surged forward, cutting through the darkness, a single spark of hope against an ocean of shadows. The Vanguard moved silently through space. Its hull reflected the distant light of Saturn and the faint glow of the sun. Nathan Hale stood at the control panel, his hands steady but his heart beating fast. For decades, he had lived quietly on Titan, repairing small machines and avoiding danger. Now he was in command of one of humanity's most powerful ships, facing a fleet of 500 alien warships. "Artemis, give me a full status report," Nathan said. "All systems are online, Captain," Artemis replied. Her calm voice filled the ship. Engines are operating at maximum efficiency. Shields are functional. Weapon systems are in standby mode. Stealth capabilities are fully active. Sensors are detecting the alien fleet approaching the inner solar system. Nathan nodded. He studied the holographic display of the alien fleet. Each ship was enormous, armed with weapons that could destroy entire colonies. They moved in perfect formation, coordinated by a single command mind. Xyler, the alien general, had built this fleet for one purpose: to erase humanity from the galaxy. "How fast can we reach Earth?" Nathan asked. "Estimated time, 72 hours at current speed," Artemis said. "We can accelerate, but energy reserves will be reduced for weapons and shields." Nathan frowned. He knew that fighting 500 ships would take more than speed. It would take strategy, cunning, and patience. Humans were not the strongest species, but they were clever. That was their advantage. Meanwhile, back on Earth's command station, Commander Ethan Price and his team worked tirelessly. Every available ship, drone, and satellite was prepared for the alien invasion. Earth's defenses were strong, but they could not match 500 warships. Even with the Vanguard on the way, the situation was critical. Olivia Grant and Lucas Ford monitored communications between Earth and Nathan. They were guiding him with the latest intelligence on the alien fleet. "Nathan," Olivia said, "we've tracked the movements of the alien ships. They are converging on Earth in 3 main groups. If we can break the formation, we can slow them down." Nathan studied the map. "I understand, but I will need to get closer to the fleet. Stealth will be essential. We cannot engage them head-on. That would be suicide." Lucas nodded. "We'll provide real-time updates. The aliens rely on their sensors. Any disruption can give you an advantage." Nathan felt a surge of determination. He had never commanded a fleet before, but he understood one thing: survival depended on outthinking the enemy. Humans had always done the impossible, and now they had a chance to prove it again. In deep space, Xyler observed the movements of the Vanguard on his own sensors. He could not understand how a single human ship could have reactivated after so many years. His voice rumbled through the command ship. "Investigate the human vessel," he ordered. "Do not engage until you know its full capability. We cannot afford mistakes." The alien ships changed their formation slightly, sending smaller scout ships toward the Vanguard. Nathan anticipated this. He activated the ship's stealth systems, creating false signals that made the Vanguard appear to vanish. The scouts approached, scanning for life, but their sensors only detected empty space. "Captain," Artemis said, "they are confused. Stealth protocols are working." "We can continue undetected for now." Nathan smiled slightly. "Good, keep it that way." For the next several hours, the Vanguard moved through the shadows, following the alien fleet without being seen. Nathan studied every blip on the sensors, planning the first strike. He knew it had to be precise. A single mistake could destroy the ship and leave Earth defenseless. Back on Earth, Ethan and his team prepared the human defenses. Orbital cannons were loaded, shield grids activated, and fighter squadrons launched in readiness. Every human pilot knew the danger they faced. They would be outnumbered by hundreds, but they would fight with courage. In the outer regions of the solar system, Nathan made his first move. He sent a small group of drones ahead, disguised as a separate human fleet. The drones emitted signals that mimicked large human warships. The alien scouts detected the drones and reported back to Xyler. "Strange," Xyler said. "The humans are sending reinforcements, deploy interception units." But it was a trap. The drones led the alien scouts into a narrow asteroid field. The Vanguard's hidden weapons struck from multiple angles, destroying the scouts before they could escape. Nathan watched the battle unfold on the display. "One down," he said quietly. "Only 499 to go." Artemis's voice remained calm. "Captain, the main fleet has noticed the disappearance of their scouts. They will investigate. We must prepare for detection." Nathan nodded. He adjusted the ship's trajectory, positioning the Vanguard to strike at the alien fleet's weakest points. Humans had always used clever strategies to defeat stronger enemies, and now they would do it again. As the alien fleet approached Jupiter, small skirmishes began. Earth satellites and orbital weapons fired at the advancing ships. Some were destroyed, but many pressed forward unaffected. Humanity's defenses were strong, but they could not stop the full force of the invasion. Nathan observed the chaos. He realized that the humans had only one advantage: unpredictability. The aliens expected direct attacks and overwhelming force, but humans would fight differently. They would strike where the enemy least expected, using intelligence and strategy instead of raw power. Artemis, Nathan said, prepare for the first strike on the enemy command ship. We need to disrupt their leadership. Understood, Captain, Artemis replied. Weapons are charging, stealth is active. We can strike without being detected for the first few minutes. Nathan's hands moved over the controls. He adjusted the ship's position, moving the Vanguard closer to the alien command ship. The distance closed rapidly. For hours, the ship remained hidden, and the alien fleet did not notice its approach. Inside the alien command ship, Xyler grew restless. Where is the human fleet? He asked. There should be more than a few drones, search every sector. But the search was in vain. Nathan's plan was working. Artemis had created false energy signatures and electromagnetic interference that masked the Vanguard's movements. The ship slipped past the enemy sensors like a shadow. Suddenly, Nathan gave the order. Fire! The Vanguard's weapons unleashed a precise strike. Energy beams targeted key points on the alien command ship, damaging communications arrays and disrupting control systems. Alarms blared on the alien vessels, and confusion spread rapidly. Captain, their command structure is destabilizing, Artemis said. The fleet is reacting unpredictably. We have created an opening. Nathan smiled. Good, prepare for follow-up strikes, keep them off balance. The alien ships tried to regroup, but it was too late. The drones Nathan had launched earlier now attacked from multiple angles, further confusing the fleet. Human ingenuity, combined with the Vanguard's advanced technology, was turning the tide. Back on Earth, Ethan watched the reports in disbelief. How is a single ship doing this? He muttered. It shouldn't be possible, Olivia nodded. It's the Vanguard. Its technology is ancient but advanced. It adapts quickly. Humans never gave up, and the ship reflects that spirit. As hours passed, the Vanguard continued its attacks. The alien fleet was powerful, but it was rigid. It relied on formation, strength, and overwhelming firepower. Humans, however, were unpredictable. Nathan used every tactic he could think of: decoys, feints, electronic interference, and guerrilla strikes. The alien ships began to fall into disarray. Smaller vessels collided, larger ones fired at empty space, and the command ship struggled to regain control. Nathan watched it all with calm determination. He knew the real battle was still ahead, but the first step had succeeded. The aliens were no longer confident in their victory. In the darkness of space, Nathan thought of Earth. Millions of humans were counting on him, on the Vanguard, and on the courage of every person who had ever fought for survival. He felt the weight of responsibility, but also a deep sense of purpose. Humans had always survived against impossible odds. Now they would do it again. Artemis, he said softly, keep monitoring. We will continue to strike, but we must protect ourselves as well. Understood, Captain, she replied. Shields and stealth are at full capacity. We are ready for any response. The alien fleet, though confused and damaged, still had overwhelming numbers. Nathan knew the fight would not be easy. But humans had one advantage that aliens could not understand: creativity, courage, and the will to survive. Hours turned into a long night in space. The Vanguard struck again and again, always unseen, always precise. The alien fleet struggled to maintain control, while human defenses on Earth worked tirelessly to slow the invasion. Nathan took a moment to look out at the stars. Far away, Earth shone like a blue jewel. He thought of the people he had never met, of families living quietly on the planet below. For their sake, he would fight. For their sake, humanity would not be erased. The first phase of the battle was over, but the war had only begun. The Vanguard had shown that one human ship could make a difference. The alien fleet would regroup, and Nathan knew the next strikes would be even more dangerous. But for now, humanity had a spark of hope. One ship, one captain, and one human spirit had reminded the galaxy that humans could not be defeated easily. The fight was far from over, but the Vanguard was ready, and Nathan Hale had awakened the courage that had always lived within humanity. The stars ahead were dark, but within the Vanguard, light and determination burned brighter than ever. The aliens had underestimated humans, and that mistake would echo across space. Nathan knew the true battle was coming, and he was ready to meet it head-on. And so the Vanguard moved forward, a single ship against hundreds, carrying the legacy of human courage and the hope of an entire planet. The alien fleet was in chaos. Their ships moved in scattered patterns, unsure of what had happened. Xyler, the alien general, roared commands that echoed across the void of space. "Why can a single human ship disrupt us so easily?" he demanded. "Hunt it down. Destroy it before it spreads more confusion." Nathan Hale watched the alien reactions on the Vanguard's main display. Artemis, the ship's AI, analyzed every movement. "Captain, they are trying to regroup, but their systems are not responding well. Their communication is fragmented. We have an advantage if we act carefully." Nathan nodded. "Then we keep pressing. But we must not overextend ourselves. One mistake and we could be destroyed." The Vanguard moved like a shadow through the alien fleet. Nathan chose small targets first, isolated ships that had fallen behind the main formation. With precise strikes, the Vanguard disabled their engines and weapons, leaving them drifting in space. "Captain," Artemis said, "we have detected a cluster of mid-sized warships. If we attack them simultaneously, we can create panic in the fleet." Nathan's hands moved quickly over the controls. "Do it, but keep the strikes small and precise. We don't want them to figure out our tactics too soon." The Vanguard fired beams of concentrated energy at key points on the alien ships. Engines exploded, sending debris spinning into the darkness. The aliens had never seen humans fight like this. Their attacks were always direct, powerful, and predictable. Humans were different. They were clever, adaptable, and fearless. Back on Earth, Commander Ethan Price watched the reports from satellites and orbital stations. The alien fleet was suffering losses, but they were still massive in number. Every human ship and fighter pilot was doing their part, striking whenever possible. "Ethan," Olivia said, "if the Vanguard can continue this harassment, it will give us time to strengthen Earth's defenses. We must keep the pressure on them." Ethan nodded. "We will. Every weapon, every ship, every fighter will support them. Humans fight differently. That is our strength." In the outer solar system, Nathan focused on the alien fleet's command ship. Xyler had tried to restore order, but the Vanguard's interference had left confusion in its systems. Nathan knew that if he could strike the command ship directly, the rest of the fleet might collapse without leadership. "Artemis, plot a course for their command ship," Nathan ordered. "Keep us hidden until the last moment." "Course plotted," Artemis replied. "Stealth is fully engaged. We can approach undetected." The Vanguard moved with silent speed, passing through the spaces between the massive alien warships. The drones Nathan had deployed earlier continued to confuse enemy sensors. Each drone emitted signals mimicking large human ships, drawing the alien attention away from the Vanguard. As they neared the command ship, Nathan felt a mixture of fear and determination. He had never faced an enemy this large, this powerful. But he had confidence in Artemis and in the human ingenuity that had created the ship. "Artemis," he said, "we need a synchronized strike. Target the engines and communication arrays first. Then we hit their weapon systems. We do this fast and vanish before they can respond." "Understood, Captain," Artemis replied. "All systems ready." Nathan took a deep breath. The Vanguard fired. Energy beams struck the alien command ship with precision. Engines shuddered, communication signals scrambled, and weapons faltered. The command ship began to drift, vulnerable and exposed. The rest of the alien fleet reacted, but confusion had spread. Without clear orders, smaller ships collided, fired at empty space, and became easy targets for the Vanguard's drones. Humans, using strategy instead of sheer power, were turning the tide. On Earth, Ethan's team monitored the attacks. "The Vanguard is making a real difference," he said. "I've never seen anything like this. A single ship is outsmarting hundreds." Olivia nodded. "It is human creativity and courage. That is why we survive against odds that seem impossible." Meanwhile, Nathan focused on the next phase. The alien fleet was still massive, and a direct attack on all of them was impossible. He needed to create openings and exploit mistakes. He began moving through their formation, striking where the enemy least expected. "Artemis, identify weak points in their formation," he said. "Analyzing," she replied. "There are several gaps between clusters of ships. We can use these to create further confusion and force them apart." Nathan smiled. "Good, let's split them up. Smaller groups are easier to handle." Using the Vanguard's speed and stealth, Nathan attacked multiple weak points. Energy beams disabled engines, scrambled sensors, and created panic. Alien ships began firing at each other, unsure of where the attacks were coming from. The fleet was no longer coordinated. In the chaos, Nathan noticed a group of smaller alien ships trying to flank the vanguard. Artemis, countermeasures, he ordered. Deploying decoys and electronic interference, Artemis replied. The decoys mimicked the vanguard's energy signature, confusing the aliens. They fired at the false signals, missing the real ship entirely. Nathan seized the opportunity. The vanguard struck the flanking group, destroying several ships before they could retreat. Artemis calculated escape routes and potential threats, keeping them safe while maintaining pressure on the enemy. Back on Earth, Ethan monitored human defenses. Fighter squadrons launched to intercept alien ships that had broken from the main formation. Orbital weapons fired at stragglers, adding to the confusion. Every human effort worked in harmony with the vanguard, creating a coordinated defense across the solar system. Hours passed, and the alien fleet was suffering heavy losses. Zyler's frustration grew. "Humans are unpredictable," he growled. "Destroy the vanguard at all costs." Nathan anticipated this. He activated the vanguard's advanced stealth, vanishing from enemy sensors just as the alien command ship tried to locate him. The ship moved silently, preparing for the next strike. "Artemis, prepare for long-range attack on the command ship's weapons arrays," Nathan said. "All systems ready," Artemis replied. "We can disable them without being detected." Nathan fired. Energy beams struck the alien weapons arrays, rendering them useless. The command ship was crippled, unable to fire effectively and drifting in space. The rest of the fleet, lacking orders, became vulnerable. The aliens had never faced an enemy like this. They were used to overwhelming power, not clever tactics. Humans were different. Nathan realized that their strength was not in numbers or firepower, but in strategy, adaptability, and courage. "Captain," Artemis said, "the fleet is destabilizing. We have created an opportunity for further attacks." Nathan nodded. "We will continue, but we must remain cautious. Zyler will adapt quickly if we are not careful." In the outer solar system, small groups of alien ships tried to regroup. Nathan targeted the weak points again, striking quickly and disappearing before they could respond. Every attack caused more confusion, and the aliens began to retreat in small groups, unsure of how to react. Back on Earth, Ethan's team felt hope for the first time since the invasion was detected. "They are winning small battles," he said, "but the war is far from over." Olivia added, "Even small victories matter." Every ship destroyed, every system disabled, slows the aliens and protects Earth. Humanity's survival depends on courage and cleverness, not just technology. Nathan's mind focused on the next target, the alien fleet's supply vessels. Without supplies, the remaining ships would be forced to retreat or fight with limited resources. He calculated the most efficient way to disable them without risking the vanguard. "Artemis, plot intercept course for supply vessels," he said. "We will strike fast and vanish." "Course plotted," Artemis replied. "Stealth is active, attack strategy optimized." The vanguard moved like a phantom, striking supply vessels with precision. Engines were destroyed, weapons scrambled, and supplies vented into space. The aliens had no idea who was attacking or how the strikes were happening. Chaos spread through the fleet, weakening their coordination further. Nathan watched the results. "One step at a time," he said. "We cannot fight them all at once, but we can break them into smaller groups. That is how humans win against stronger enemies." The alien fleet, though still large, was no longer a single, unstoppable force. Nathan had demonstrated that strategy, speed, and intelligence could overcome even the most overwhelming numbers. The vanguard had become more than a ship. It was a symbol of human courage. As the hours passed, Nathan prepared for the next phase. He knew that Zyler would eventually adapt, but he also knew that humans never gave up. They fought against impossible odds, using ingenuity and spirit as weapons. "Artemis," Nathan said, "we need to keep them off balance. Continuous strikes, small but precise. We will teach them that humans cannot be defeated easily." "Yes, Captain," Artemis replied. "All systems ready. Continuous engagement protocol activated." The battle continued, a deadly dance between a single human ship and hundreds of alien warships. The vanguard struck where the enemy least expected, disabled ships with precise energy beams, and disappeared before retaliation. Every move was calculated, every decision measured. Back on Earth, Ethan watched the reports. "The vanguard is changing the battle," he said. "Humans are showing the galaxy that they cannot be easily defeated," Olivia nodded. It is not just the ship, it is the spirit of humans that makes the difference. Even one ship with courage and intelligence can turn the tide. Nathan looked out at the stars. Far away, Earth shone like a blue jewel. Millions of humans depended on him, on the Vanguard, and on every act of bravery and intelligence. He felt the weight of responsibility, but also a deep sense of purpose. Humans had always survived against impossible odds. Now they would do it again. The alien fleet, disorganized and vulnerable, still had numbers, but their confidence was broken. The Vanguard had shown that one human ship with courage and strategy could change the course of the battle. Nathan exhaled slowly. "We will continue," he said. "We will keep fighting until humanity is safe." And the Vanguard moved forward, a single ship against hundreds, carrying the hope of a planet, the spirit of a species, and the courage of humans who refused to be defeated. The alien fleet was fractured. Ships drifted apart, some damaged, some confused, and the command ship still struggled to regain control. Xyler's frustration grew with each passing hour. "Humans are unpredictable," he growled. "We cannot allow one ship to destroy everything we have built. Send a strike force. Hunt it down, leave no escape." Nathan Hale, sitting in the control room of the Vanguard, watched the enemy movements. Artemis processed billions of calculations in seconds, analyzing the fleet's weaknesses. "Captain," she said, "the aliens are attempting a concentrated strike. They have identified our general location. If we do not act quickly, we could be trapped." Nathan's mind worked fast. He had expected this. Humans thrived under pressure. Their strength came from thinking differently when the odds seemed impossible. "Artemis," he said, "prepare a feint maneuver. Make them believe we are retreating while we move deeper into their fleet. Use their confusion against them." "Yes, Captain," Artemis replied. "Executing maneuver." The Vanguard powered up its engines for a sudden burst of speed. Its hull shimmered with energy as the stealth systems created multiple false signals. To the alien fleet, it seemed the ship was fleeing, leaving them in pursuit. In reality, the Vanguard was diving toward the center of the alien formation, the heart of Xyler's command. Back on Earth, Commander Ethan Price watched the fleet's movements. "They're moving toward the center?" he asked in disbelief. Olivia Grant nodded. "Nathan is taking the fight to the enemy where it hurts most. This is extremely dangerous, but it could break the alien fleet entirely if he succeeds." Lucas Ford leaned closer to the monitor. "He's human," he said quietly. "That's why he can do this. Humans never back down even when they should." The Vanguard reached the inner layers of the alien fleet. Massive warships towered around Nathan, their weapons pointed toward where they thought the humans were hiding. Artemis analyzed their firing sequences. "Captain, they are targeting multiple sectors. Their firepower is immense. We must strike carefully." Nathan gritted his teeth. "We'll strike in waves, hit their systems fast, then vanish before they can respond." The first strike was precise. Energy beams fired from the Vanguard's weapons disabled critical sensors and engines on the nearest alien warships. Explosions rocked the fleet as ships collided or spun out of control. The alien forces could not believe that a single ship had caused so much damage. "Captain," Artemis said, "we have identified the command ship's defensive patterns. We can exploit a small window to attack its core systems." Nathan leaned forward. "Do it. We have to end their coordination now." The Vanguard fired again. Beams struck the alien command ship's core energy conduits, causing massive sparks and temporary shutdowns. The command ship shuddered as Xyler roared in fury. "Impossible! How can one human ship penetrate my defenses?" At the same time, smaller alien vessels tried to surround the Vanguard. Nathan anticipated this. He activated decoys, launching multiple holographic images of the ship in different directions. The aliens fired at the illusions, wasting precious energy and leaving gaps for the Vanguard to escape. "Good work, Artemis," Nathan said. "Keep them guessing. Never let them know our true position." The Vanguard moved between the gaps, striking weak points and disappearing before the enemy could respond. Each strike caused more confusion. Ships collided, weapons malfunctioned, and smaller groups were forced to retreat. Back on Earth, Ethan and his team monitored the battle. "They're collapsing," Ethan said, eyes wide. "A single ship is breaking a fleet of 500, Olivia smiled. "Humans always find a way. It's not just technology, it's courage and strategy. Nathan and the Vanguard are showing that right now." Lucas added, "It's incredible. They never expected humans to fight like this. The aliens are used to direct attacks, not clever moves like this. Deep inside the alien command ship, Xyler realized the situation was deteriorating rapidly. "We cannot fail," he growled. "Destroy that human ship, even if it costs half our fleet." Nathan anticipated the move. Artemis detected the strike force moving toward the Vanguard. "Captain, multiple alien warships are converging on our location. They intend to overwhelm us." Nathan studied the sensors. "Then we split them. Use the asteroid field nearby to our advantage. Lead them into it and let their numbers work against them." The Vanguard darted into a dense asteroid field. The alien ships followed blindly, firing at the glowing rocks and each other. Explosions tore through the formation as warships collided with asteroids or each other. The chaos gave Nathan an opening to strike at the remaining alien vessels. "Captain," Artemis said, "their formation is fragmented. We can disable additional ships without direct confrontation." Nathan smiled. "Good, let's make every shot count." Energy beams struck engines and weapons arrays, sending ships spinning helplessly through space. Some attempted to retreat, only to be trapped by the Vanguard's precise movements and Artemis's calculations. The alien fleet's coordination was shattered, and their morale was breaking. Meanwhile, back on Earth, humans launched a coordinated attack. Fighter squadrons engaged the smaller alien groups, while orbital weapons targeted damaged ships. The combination of the Vanguard's strategy and Earth's forces created a chain reaction of destruction. "Humans are unstoppable when united," Ethan said, watching the reports. Olivia nodded, "And they never fight like anyone expects. That is why they survive." Nathan focused on the remaining command ship. Xyler was desperate now, ordering every remaining ship to attack, but it was too late. The aliens were scattered, their defenses weakened, and their coordination lost. "Artemis, prepare for final strike on the command ship's core," Nathan said. "We have to finish this." "All systems ready, Captain," Artemis replied. "Core strike can be executed with minimal risk to the Vanguard." The Vanguard fired with precision. Energy beams hit the command ship's core energy systems, causing massive explosions that echoed across the fleet. The command ship shuddered and began to break apart. Xyler's roar filled the communications, a mixture of rage and disbelief. "No, this cannot happen," Xyler shouted. "I am Xyler the Conqueror. How can one human ship destroy my fleet?" Nathan remained calm. "Humans are never defeated when they fight for their home," he said quietly. The remaining alien ships attempted to flee, but the Vanguard struck swiftly, targeting engines and weapons to prevent escape. Chaos reigned as the fleet scattered, with smaller groups drifting helplessly in space. The once mighty force of 500 ships was reduced to a fragmented collection of broken vessels. On Earth, Ethan and his team watched in awe. "They did it," he said. "They actually did it. The aliens are retreating," Olivia smiled. "It is the human spirit. Even one ship, guided by courage and intelligence, can change the course of history." Lucas added, "And the Vanguard is the perfect symbol of that spirit. It is ancient, but it carries humanity's heart and ingenuity." Nathan guided the Vanguard through the remnants of the alien fleet. Artemis calculated the safest path, avoiding debris and potential ambushes. Each movement was deliberate, precise, and strategic. "Captain," Artemis said, "we have successfully neutralized the command ship and scattered the remaining fleet. They are retreating from the solar system." Nathan exhaled slowly. "Good, Earth is safe for now, but we must remain vigilant. The aliens may return, and we have to be ready." The stars ahead were calm again, but Nathan knew this peace would not last forever. Humanity had survived an impossible threat, but the galaxy was vast and dangers lurked in the shadows. Back on Earth, celebrations began. Humans cheered for their survival, for the courage of Nathan Hale and the Vanguard, and for the proof that humanity could stand against overwhelming odds. Ethan Price addressed the team. "Today, we witnessed something extraordinary. One ship, one captain, and the spirit of humanity changed the course of history. Remember this moment. Humanity will always fight, and humanity will never be defeated." Olivia smiled, looking at the reports of the Vanguard's actions. "Humans never give up," she said. "And now the rest of the galaxy knows it too." Nathan guided the Vanguard to a safe orbit near Saturn for repairs and resupply. The ship had proven its power, but Nathan knew it was not invincible. They needed time to prepare for future threats. "Artemis," Nathan said, "we did it. Humanity survived this battle." Yes, Captain, Artemis replied, and your leadership has shown the strength and ingenuity of the human race. The aliens underestimated us, and that mistake has cost them dearly. Nathan looked out at Earth, a small blue gem in the distance. Millions of people depended on courage, intelligence, and unity to survive. Today, humans had shown the galaxy that they could overcome even the greatest odds. The Vanguard floated silently in space, a symbol of hope, courage, and human determination. The battle was over, but the story of humanity's strength would continue. One ship had fought against hundreds and won, proving that humans could achieve the impossible. Nathan exhaled, feeling the weight of responsibility lift slightly. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, but humans had proven that they could face any challenge with courage and strategy. The stars ahead were quiet, but Nathan knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had survived today, and the galaxy would remember it. And so, the Vanguard remained in orbit, ready for whatever the future held, carrying the spirit of a species that refused to be defeated. The alien fleet had retreated. Broken ships and scattered vessels drifted in the outer regions of the solar system, silent and powerless. For the first time in decades, humanity had faced an overwhelming threat and survived. Commander Ethan Price watched the screens on Earth's orbital command station, disbelief and relief mixing in his mind. "They're gone," Ethan said quietly. "The aliens, they actually retreated." Olivia Grant smiled, her eyes bright with pride. "Not just retreated. They've learned something today. Humans are not weak. One ship guided by strategy and courage has shown them that." Lucas Ford shook his head, still trying to process the scale of what had happened. 500 warships, gone, crippled. All because of one human frigate and its captain. Incredible. Far from Earth, the Vanguard floated in orbit near Saturn. Nathan Hale stood at the control panel, staring at the remnants of the alien fleet scattered across space. The ships were damaged, many completely destroyed, and the survivors fled into the void. The solar system was safe for now, but Nathan knew this was not the end. "Artemis," Nathan said, "status report on the fleet." "All command ships are destroyed," Artemis replied. "Approximately 300 smaller vessels are damaged beyond repair. The rest have retreated beyond sensor range. Earth's defenses remain intact. Casualties on the Vanguard are minimal. We have succeeded in our mission." Nathan exhaled slowly. He had expected nothing less, but seeing the results filled him with a strange mix of relief and pride. Humans had survived an impossible threat. They had shown the galaxy that courage, intelligence, and determination could overcome even overwhelming odds. Back on Earth, celebrations began. Citizens cheered in the streets, sending messages of thanks to the brave pilots and crews who had defended the planet. Humanity had come together, fighting with every resource available, and survived. The Vanguard, though distant, had become a symbol of hope. Ethan watched the celebrations, a smile spreading across his face. "This is a moment humanity will never forget," he said. "A single ship, a single captain has shown the strength of the human spirit. This is what makes us different. This is why we survive." Olivia nodded. "It's more than just technology or numbers. It's courage, ingenuity, and the will to fight even when the odds are impossible. Nathan and the Vanguard represent that." Lucas added quietly, "Humans never stop. That is why we win. That is why we survive." Meanwhile, Nathan guided the Vanguard to a safe location near Saturn, where repairs could be made and systems restored. The ship had performed perfectly, but it had also shown its age. Ancient systems hummed, some flickered, and Artemis worked tirelessly to bring everything back to full strength. "Captain," Artemis said, "repairs will take several hours. We should remain alert in case the aliens attempt another strike." Nathan nodded. "Agreed. We cannot assume they will give up completely, but for now, Earth is safe. That is what matters most." As the Vanguard rested in orbit, Nathan allowed himself a moment to think. He had lived a quiet life for decades, away from battles and conflict. But now he had seen humanity at its best. Humans had fought against impossible odds and survived. They had shown courage, cleverness, and unity, traits that no alien could destroy. Out in the solar system, small groups of alien ships tried to flee, but they were cautious. Xyler had underestimated humans, and that mistake would not be forgotten. Their fleet was broken, their command structure destroyed, and their morale shattered. The aliens would retreat for now, but Nathan knew they would return one day. When that day came, humans would be ready. Back on Earth, Ethan gathered his team. The battle is over, but the war is not finished, he said. Humanity has survived thanks to courage and intelligence. We have proven to the galaxy that we cannot be defeated easily. Remember this moment. Remember that we fight together and we fight to survive. Olivia smiled. And we have the Vanguard as proof. One ship, one captain can make all the difference. That is the human spirit. Lucas nodded. It's a lesson for everyone. Even when the odds seem impossible, humans find a way. That is why we survive and why we will continue to thrive in the galaxy. Nathan spent hours reviewing the battle logs and analyzing the remaining alien fleet. Artemis worked alongside him, suggesting improvements and upgrades for the Vanguard. Every calculation, every adjustment was designed to ensure that if the aliens returned, humanity would be even stronger. Artemis, Nathan said, prepare a full report for Earth Command. They need to understand exactly what happened and how we can improve our defenses. Yes, Captain, Artemis replied. Report will be transmitted immediately. Humanity will have full knowledge of the alien tactics and our countermeasures. As the report was sent, Nathan allowed himself a rare moment of reflection. Humans had survived against impossible odds. A single ship, guided by courage and intelligence, had changed the course of history. It was proof that humans were not just another species in the galaxy. They were unique, resourceful, and brave. Meanwhile, Earth scientists began studying the remnants of the alien fleet. Olivia Grant and Lucas Ford led the research, examining the technology and energy signatures of the ships. They discovered ways to adapt some of the alien systems to improve Earth's defenses. Humanity had not just survived, it had gained knowledge and insight that would make the planet stronger. Captain, Artemis said, Earth is preparing new defense systems based on our analysis. Humans are learning quickly. If the aliens return, they will be ready. Nathan smiled. Good, that is exactly what we need. Humans must always be ready, no matter what challenges come. Knowledge and preparation are just as important as courage. As repairs continued, Nathan thought about the people on Earth. Millions of lives had been at risk, but they had survived. He imagined families, children, and entire cities celebrating their safety. Humanity had proven that even against overwhelming odds, it could endure and fight back. In the distance, scattered alien ships were fleeing, some damaged beyond repair, some retreating to regroup. Nathan knew that their defeat was not just physical but psychological. They had underestimated humans, and that mistake would echo across the galaxy. Captain, Artemis said, the alien forces are retreating completely. They are not organizing for immediate counterattack. Nathan nodded. Then we have time to repair, to learn, and to prepare. Humanity has won this battle, but the galaxy is vast and challenges will continue. We must be ready. Back on Earth, celebrations continued. People sang, cheered, and shared stories of bravery. Children asked questions about the Vanguard, about Nathan Hale, and about the humans who had defended their planet. Humanity had survived an impossible threat, and the stories would be told for generations. Ethan Price addressed the people from Earth's command station. Today, we have seen what humans are capable of. Against overwhelming odds, we fought together, we survived, and we will continue to thrive in the galaxy. Remember this day and remember the courage that made it possible. Olivia Grant added, humanity's strength is not in numbers or technology alone. It is in courage, ingenuity, and the will to survive. The Vanguard is proof of that spirit. We will carry this lesson forward. Lucas Ford nodded. And we will continue to grow stronger. Humans never give up. Humans never surrender. That is why we endure. Nathan spent time repairing the Vanguard and preparing it for future missions. Artemis worked tirelessly, updating systems and enhancing capabilities. The ship had proven its power, but Nathan knew it had more potential. Humans would continue to explore, defend, and survive in the galaxy. Artemis, Nathan said, we've done something incredible. We've shown the galaxy that humans cannot be defeated easily. Yes, Captain, Artemis replied. Your leadership and strategy have demonstrated the true strength of humanity. The aliens underestimated us, and that will not happen again. Nathan looked out at Earth from orbit. The planet was peaceful, a small blue jewel in the vastness of space. Millions of people depended on courage, intelligence, and unity to survive. Today, humans had proven that they could face impossible odds and win. Humanity is stronger than they realize, Nathan said quietly. and we will continue to grow, learn, and protect our home. As the Vanguard floated in orbit, Nathan thought about the future. The galaxy was full of dangers, but humans had proven they could survive and thrive. One ship, one captain, and a determined species had changed the course of history. Back on Earth, celebrations continued late into the night. Stories of bravery, courage, and ingenuity spread across the planet. Humanity had survived the impossible and had shown that even against overwhelming odds, it could endure. Nathan prepared a final report for Earth Command. "We must remain vigilant," he wrote. "The aliens may return, but humanity has learned, grown, and proven that it can survive. The Vanguard and all humans who fought have shown what is possible when courage meets intelligence." As the report was transmitted, Nathan looked out at the stars. The galaxy was vast and dangerous, but humanity had survived today. They had proven that even one ship, guided by courage and intelligence, could change the course of history. And so, the Vanguard remained in orbit, repaired and ready, a symbol of hope, courage, and human determination. Humanity had survived, the alien fleet had retreated, and the galaxy had learned a vital lesson. Humans were not to be underestimated. Nathan smiled, feeling the weight of responsibility and pride. The battle was over, but the story of humanity's strength would continue. One ship had fought against hundreds, and humans had survived against impossible odds. The future was uncertain, but one thing was clear: humanity would endure, fight, and thrive in the galaxy. The stars ahead were bright, and Nathan knew that whatever challenges awaited, humans would face them with courage, intelligence, and determination. The galaxy had witnessed humanity's strength, and the legend of the Vanguard would live on. And so, humanity began a new chapter. One of hope, growth, and exploration. One of courage and ingenuity. One where humans had shown the galaxy that they could survive anything, fight against any threat, and prevail.